Welcome to this video, which is a sequel to yet another video of mine that I had recorded some time back. Title the same, Peculiar Use of the Subjunctive. Let us first have a look at what is subjunctive. And I am referring to this source material, which again is Lexico Oxford. This is a product of the Oxford Dictionary. This is their grammar section. The subjunctive is a specific verb form. It usually expresses something that you wish for or a hypothetical rather than actual situation. So, first we look at these sentences. The report recommends that he faces the tribunal. I recommend that we do not approve this letter. God blesses you, or God should bless you. Heaven forbids, or heaven should forbid. Suffice to say, blah blah blah, like suffice to say that India is passing through the worst phase of the coronavirus. If you start living on Mars, your each day would be more than 24 hours. So if you casually look at all these sentences, it is quite likely that they would appear to you to be absolutely correct, whereas they are absolutely wrong. So, where are the mistakes? Exactly in the words and phrases that have been underlined. Now, let us first look at the corrections part. The report recommends that he face the tribunal, not he faces. I recommend that we not approve this letter. It would be wrong to say, I recommend that we do not approve this letter. Wrong. If you started living on Mars, you can't say if you start living on Mars, your each day would be more than 24 hours. Why you can't say? Because it is unlikely that you would be able to live on Mars. So in such conditional sentences, the verb takes the simple past form. Therefore, if you started living on Mars, not if you start living on Mars. Yes, you can say if you start living in a metropolitan city, you would gradually get used to the noise of big cities. But since it is unlikely to happen if you started, God save the queen, not God saves. Heaven forbid, not heaven forbids. Suffice it to say that India is passing through blah blah blah. So you have to say suffice it to say, you can't say suffice to say. So we will quickly go through what are the rules of the subjunctive. Now look at these two sentences. If only I were 10 years younger instead of I was. Well, in the very beginning, let me clarify that this subjunctive form is the formal English. In the informal language, you can take liberty of saying, let's say, if only I was 10 years younger. We will see that later. Let's see. I only wish that what you say were true rather than was true. It is also used to indicate that something is being suggested or demanded. Now look here. The report recommends that he face the tribunal. This sentence that I took as an example here. Here, the, the report recommends that he face the tribunal. So I took the example from here. The report recommends that he face the tribunal rather than faces. It is important that they be aware of the provisions of the Act rather than they are. They are, of course, not totally wrong, but in informal English. In modern English, it is distinguished from other verb forms only. There are two factors. A, by the use of be and were instead of the indicative forms like what? Am, is, are, was, as in the example above. And number two, that is B, by lacking the final letter S of the third person singular, he, she, it, in the present tense in the example above. Like he face, not he faces. When is it used? Now, when to use it? You are most likely to encounter the subjunctive in formal writing or a speech. You will also encounter it in the following scenarios. In that clauses. Nowadays, it is probably most frequent in that clauses with verbs such as demand, insist, pray, recommend, suggest, and semantically related nouns, adjectives used. For example, essential, important, insistence, proposal, etc. Look at the example. She declined a seat beside Charles on the sofa. She insisted that Jane sit there. In the usual course, we would say Jane sits there. Like Jane always sits there. But here she insisted that Jane sit there. Subjunctive use. It was suggested that he wait until the next morning rather than he waits. It is important that they be aware of the provisions of the Act. Note, in most such cases, it can be replaced by should plus infinitive or by the indicative form of the verb. Like, you can say, alternatively, in informal English, you can say, she declined a seat beside Charles on the sofa. She insisted that Jane sat there, but not sit. And why sat is a substitute? Because so that to make it compatible with declined, or better still, she insisted. It is in the past tense, so you can't say sits or whatever it is. Sit you can say because that is the subjunctive use. Otherwise, sat there. It was suggested that he should wait until the next morning. It is important that they are aware of the provisions of the Act. The use of the subjunctive instead of those alternatives is very frequent in American English. So, subjunctive use is more common in American English than in British English. In constructions, and that is one of the reasons, since we Indians are supposed to follow British English, we find it a little awkward. We are not quite comfortable. In constructions of this type, any negation, not or never, etc. is normally placed before the subjunctive verb. One essential quality for a holiday novel is that it not be too light. It not be. Not it is not, it not be. Okay. Or it be not. No, it not be. I recommend that we not approve this letter rather than we do not approve. No, that would be wrong. This construction is routine in American English but less common elsewhere. As if, as though, if. After if or as if, as though, unless. In hypotheses or comparisons. If that was so, things would be very different. Instead of that was, it was as if Sally were disturbed in some way rather than Sally was. His voice strained as though he were walking on a wire above a pit of sharks rather than he was. The indicative may also be used, that is, was instead of were, in all the examples above, but the subjunctive arguably conveys the hypothetical sense more forcefully. So it is important to remember that we use the subjunctive to make our statements more assertive, more forceful. If I were you, now it's a typical idiomatic kind of use. Usage seems to be changing in phrases such as if I were you, if it were up to me, etc. People often say if I was you and if it was up to me, but the subjunctive is preferable in writing, especially any formal or academic prose. The phrase as it were, however, cannot be modified. So the as it were cannot be changed. You can't say as it was. Impossible. Having to ask permission, as it were, to see her friends. Suddenly, as it were, overnight, the weather became hot and sultry. So these two, this here, as it were, cannot be changed. Set phrases. Which are they? For categories 1 to 3, using the subjunctive is optional. However, there are many set phrases which contain a hidden subjunctive as part of the phrase, like come what may, far be it from me to, God save the Queen, heaven forbid, perish the thought, so be it, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. We can't say thy shall be done. Sorry, thy will shall be done. We can't say thy will. Here will means wish. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Suffice it to say, as I quoted in in the above examples, woe betide. Possibly it is failure to recognize that suffice it to say is subjunctive with it as the grammatical subject that leads many people to say suffice to say, but that is wrong. At the head of a clause, this kind of construction with the subject after the verb is more typically found in writing than in a speech, where it might be considered rather formal, like were I to get drunk, it would help me drown my anguish. Were I to get drunk. If you say, if I were to get drunk, then you have to use if in the beginning, but that will be less formal. Unlike rival international fairs, be they in London, New York, or Maastricht, the biennial, the biennial has enormous popular appeal. Maastricht is a place in the Netherlands, and this is a kind of fair, has enormous popular appeal. Now, unlike rival international fairs, in informal English we can say, or spoken English, whether they are in London, New York, or Maastricht, whether they are, but subjunctive use will be they in London, New York, blah blah blah. So I hope that this topic of grammar is slightly complex, difficult, particularly for we Indians, but this has become clearer to you. Until my next video, bye.